So you may have made a purchase using Bitcoin or sent Bitcoin from an exchange to a wallet and vice versa. And when you do so, you're making a Bitcoin transaction. And the aim of this video today is to tell you the basics behind a Bitcoin transaction. So the first thing to note with Bitcoin is that when you own some, you actually own or have access to a set of private and public keys which correspond with the quantity of Bitcoin you own. So your public key is a long string of letters and numbers which you can call your Bitcoin address. This key functions like an email address in that you give it to people if they want to send you Bitcoin. So your private key is another string of letters and numbers, but it must be kept a secret. You can think of this as just like your password to your email address, for example. So if I want to send you some Bitcoin, I'm essentially sending a message to the Bitcoin network requesting Bitcoin that I have access to is allocated to your public key rather than to mine. So in your ownership instead of mine. There are three basic parts to this transaction: an input, an amount, and an output. So the input includes the identifying data for the transaction, which provided the Bitcoin to my wallet in the first place. So the source of the Bitcoin that I want to send. And the amount is the specific amount of Bitcoin I want to send to you, and the output will be your public key or wallet address. So the destination that I want the Bitcoin I send to arrive at. So when I use my wallet to broadcast this message consisting of the input, amount, and output to the Bitcoin network, what happens next is that a miner will accept my transaction and include it in the next block on the Bitcoin blockchain which they are mining. Now the miner will verify that the transaction was correct and that nothing malicious is going on. And once it has then been added to the block and the block is mined, it has been confirmed on the Bitcoin blockchain. Once more and more blocks are verified on top of the block which contain my transaction within it, the less likely it is that the transaction can be reversed, and you can be more confident with each confirmed block that the Bitcoin I sent to you is successfully received and safely in your wallet. So when it's taking a long time for your transaction to be confirmed on the blockchain, this can be for a few reasons, but the most common is that the miner isn't accepting your transaction because you didn't pay a high enough transaction fee in order to incentivize them. Now remember that the fees from the transactions accepted by a miner in their blocks are a source of income for them. So if you offer to pay a much lower fee than others are doing, you are much less likely to have your transaction confirmed on the network. And in our example, you may not receive the Bitcoin that I have sent you for quite some time if I have not paid a high enough transaction fee.